Hey everybody, it's Texas Stroker here, Lance's Performance Shop, Lone Star Mopars.com. Monday night, and my oh my, we're gonna have a good time here. So just showcase some brand new stuff just came in from DRPD, but we're turning back the clocks to Black Friday and KC Tool. This is some stuff I've wanted to showcase for a really long time. We're finally going to get to make that happen. This was a pretty big, I placed multiple Black Friday orders. This was like a very big, very specific one, and it's pretty much going to entirely be from Gedore. So anytime you place an order, whether it be very, very small or a very large like this one, you're going to get a bit of things. Currently shipping is a number 2 from VIT. And then at this point in time, something was going on. Like I said, several orders were placed, and we got some freebies, I think, because it was Black Friday, basically. You got kind of like the special bit of things with like the KC Tool holiday, as you can see there. And then got some free Balistol wipes. That's just a single pack. Didn't order that, it was just thrown in. Also thrown in were some sweet KC Tool stickers. These are much larger than what you'd have in the German Tool sticker pack. Sort of die cut ones, right? We'll make use of those. I've kind of had them flattening out. And then, this is one of those first ever times that we had mystery stickers. I don't quite know what I did, and I think it might have been a combined order, maybe is how they shipped it. But, ladies and gentlemen, 2, not 1, but 2 mystery stickers. So, the German Tool sticker pack that you know and love, that you've seen in virtually every video we do, you access that at the $100 mark. Spoiler alert, we passed the $100 mark here. If you're thinking like, whoa, hey, you know, I was just getting into this KC Tool stuff. I wanted the German Tool sticker pack, or I've only gotten 2 of them, and I need more stickers for what I had planned. It is still available. You can purchase it standalone. I think it's really, really reasonable. You know, like probably sub $5. Same with mystery stickers. If you get into them, you can purchase them standalone. I want to say they're like 16 total to collect. Could be 17, somewhere in that range. I thought initially, I think I spoke in a video yesterday or a day or 2 ago, I was like 12 or 13. It's like 16. But let's go ahead and check them out so you get a feel. Even the packaging is mysterious, right? You don't know what's in there. I don't know what's in there. I've not looked at these. So we're going to jump in. The one I have showcased is a Felo. And I'm so glad it is, because we've got Stahlvilla. That's a glorious sticker. It's their updated design, but it's holographic in this case. So, very, very cool. I guess we should leave that out of the packaging. Maybe we'll get a Gedore, because I've already told you this whole video is going to largely be a Gedore. Let's see. Doesn't seem like a big one. It could be, let's see if we can... No, oh, wait. I think there's 2 in here, or it's bent up. Berger. I think we're pronouncing that right. So I think that's what's in there. So, oh, wait. What is going on? Oh, there is a checklist. Okay, geez. Now, I don't know if they're all going to have this. I was like, I think we got 2 stickers in one pack. Best day ever. Not quite that good, but close. So this is important. This shows you what is available. I should have made a standalone long ago on this. I will eventually. But essentially, these 16 stickers to collect. You got 4 across, you got 4 down. What's that multiply to? 16. Balistol, Berger, Felo. What I'm doing. Gedore, Halder, Hazet, Heiko, Knipex, KC Tool. NWS, Oxhead, we'll just roll with that. Picard, Stabila, Stavilla, Vera, and VIT. So, super cool. And again, this is, if you've been like, oh, I've got so many of those German Tool sticker packs, kind of what KC Tool is thinking. Whether it was me that inspired them, or some of you, or maybe people complained, I don't have a clue. But it's kind of nice to change things up. You can't ever go wrong with freebies anyway. But the fact that, hey, we get something new is pretty dadgum cool. Now, had the stars aligned, it would have been Gedore. But, hey, I'm not going to complain. So, speaking of Gedore, where on earth do we want to begin with this? You know what? Let's just do this. let's throw this item down. This was a spendy one at all. It's not always. You can catch a sale or tool of the day type of thing. This is their part number 183 JC10. Again, if you're new here, links, timestamps all down below for your convenience. This MSRP would be 104.64. And you're like, oh, sweet pliers wrench. Yeah, don't you have that? Yeah, totally do. Right here. This is the one that I use all the time. You've seen it in the Ram Revival. You've seen it do lots of things. You've seen it with the blue pads that protect it for when we do AN or PTFE fittings, right? It's just a really, really good pliers wrench. They're chromed. I really like the JC 2-component handles on them. I bought that to go to work. At work, as weird as it seems, the only pliers wrench currently in my cart at work. I do have another, I've got a Knipex set in the bag, but in the cart, the only thing there is the Icon one. I have done a lot with that pair of pliers wrench. This is a considerable upgrade, and it's also something I genuinely believe you need 2 of them. If you come in and maybe you're like skating by, you know, and you've got like basic 7 through 19, quarter through 3/4 sockets, you will come in to something where you need a larger size. Oftentimes with larger sizes, you actually have to have 2 wrenches, right? You might have, I'm thinking of trolleys because I've got some issues with a whole overhead hoist at work right now. So you've got your jam nuts, right? And they're very big. You probably don't have sockets or wrenches that big. You can't really use the socket anyway because you got 2 of them, so you gotta have a backer. And these work beautifully for oddballs like that, and they do everything else. They're a wrench set in 1 tool. They don't round corners off. Fairly slim. The possibilities are endless with these, right? And that is one of the items we picked up. This ties in beautifully with it. And what is this? This is something that I pick up when I think about it. These are hard to come by. They're usually not in stock when you need them. Maybe that's changed, but I know for a while it's like, I'm like, yeah, I'm going to throw some of those on and get my free freedom. Like, oh, it's out of stock. Then they'd be in stock, and I'd be like, okay, well, you know, I'll wait on it. And then they were gone. But what those are, they're just the jaw protectors for a 10-inch. They are size specific. MSRP would be $17.51. Again, I want to stress this was a Black Friday sale, so we got big discounts on all this stuff. I kind of think one of the items was tool of the day too, but don't hold me to it. But Black Friday sale, super, super good stuff. Now, what we're going to do on that front is throw these down. And you might be able to deduce where we're going with this. And you think like, oh, you got the JC 2-component handles because you really like them. I love this handle. It's, think of the Knipex dipped, but textured right, which most people hate. I kind of like them. Stavilla's got them. Wiha does them pretty well too. I know they're made in Vietnam, but the handles are pretty comfy, you got to admit. But if you look at this, this is just a really good pair of pliers. They've done several promotions on these over the years. These have seen quite a bit of use. That's one of the reasons they're out, just kind of showcase to you. Jaws have held up very, very well in my opinion. Again, you got to realize we've got a ton of tools and I try to cycle through them, so this isn't like an everyday thing. This is like, oh hey, it's Gedore time. Run it from there. So really, really nice, thin, confident, inspiring pliers. It's basically a Gedore's Cobra, okay, is a way you could look at this. And if you think like, oh, so that's what you have over here. Not quite at all, but similar yet different, I guess is the best way to describe it. If I grab my paperwork over here, we're looking at Gedore 142.7 TL. I think TL. That's not JC. Well, wait, is TL that blue dipped channel lock-esque color? It totally is. These tip the scales at 43.10. Again, much easier to contend with on a big sale. And you think like, oh, you don't even, no, save some time. Don't take them out of the bag. You showed us that pair. It's going to be the same thing, just prettier and in better shape. Yeah, it should be, but the problem is they're not 10-inch, they're 7-inch. 7-inch is a sweet spot in my opinion. I find that you can do pretty much most of what you would do here. Obviously, you know, the larger end, no, but they cover, for the most part, what you're going to run into. And it's just the smaller profile that's the big advantage, in my opinion. So this particular pair, thanks to the packaging, we know 17 position. They're very smooth, easy to articulate. Again, it's essentially the same pair of pliers, just in 7-inch. At the time, I was kind of thinking, that looks like a darker blue. I don't know if that's going to show up on the camera, but to me, that looks like darker than this. It's probably not. Maybe those are just dirty and it's like skewing it, but it's very subtle. It's not like a huge difference, but it is, in my opinion, noticeable. Let me know if I'm crazy. But, and which one you would prefer if they are, in fact, different. But I was sort of thinking of using those at work. That was kind of like my grand long-term plan. You know, I was like, well, I'll just use Gedore at work and see what we think of them, get heavy use. And then that whole big Knipex sale happened in August. And I was able to like get a ton of Cobras, like dirt cheap. And so that happened. And so this kind of took a back burner, but I still had it in mind. And then I kind of was like, you know what? I love those pliers. We should get the 7-inch. I kind of think they're going to stay here. Maybe they go to work. I'm not 100% sure yet. Well, it's really, really nice. If you've never used them, and this is the good thing, sometimes with Knipex, you actually can get the larger sizes cheaper than the smaller. It doesn't really make sense. I guess it's like a volume thing, most likely. But with this, with Gedore and Stavilla, it's usually not that way. 12-inch costs more than 10, 10 costs more than 7, 7 costs more than 5, all down the lines, right? So if you're curious, like, I'd really like to try those pliers, you know, they look pretty good. I'd like to see Gedore. That's a very slim profile. He seems happy with them. If you want to go that route, check your prices always, but if it's not a situation where you've got to have the big pair and you can get these for 10, 15 less, hey, you know, go that route, test the waters. Might wind up liking it. It might just be a deal where all your buddies at work now have Knipex, like you used to be the only one that did, and they take yours, whether by accident or intention. This will make that blatantly obvious because they've all got red handles and you've got blue. So, it's one of those things. If you want to test the waters, that is something to consider. Where shall we go next? Let's just move this guy into the frame, right? Gedore Screwdriver. And you think, like, really? Was that necessary? No, this was already here. I'm just showing you the one thing you can say about Gedore's drivers versus all the other German brands. They're very unique in their shape. You might call it ergonomics, you might call it shape, you might call it grip, whatever your preference, this one, you know, I feel like I could throw you a Vit driver and it may not be your favorite, but you're going to be okay with it. I could throw you a Vera and it's like, I prefer my other stuff. It's not terrible. I could throw you Wiha, Stavilla's, you know, 3K even, pretty much anything. And you're going to be like, yeah, you know, it's okay. This might be the one driver that you would be like, I do not like that. I know. And the reason is it's such a unique shape. Okay, like this is unlike anything that we have and see across the German brands. It's kind of flat. It's almost square, but it has these finger recesses, right? Very nice spin zone. There's a lot to like about it. But the problem is, I feel like out of all the handles, if you're being straight up honest, you're not factoring in color, brand preference, maybe you hate Vera, maybe you love Vera and hate the other brands, maybe you're like, well, I'd like that, but it's too expensive. If you just straight up, hey, you can have one of these, but you got to reject one type of a thing, there would be people that I think would be like, I love this. But I think there would probably be more that say, I hate that one. And it may not be that you hate it, but you would like it the least, if that makes sense. And it's something you should definitely try. I'm a big advocate of that, whether you're the bottle opener type or just piecing together a screwdriver set. You owe it to yourself to try it because you could be the person that's like, this is so different. It fits my hand like a glove. I love it. Or it could be like, whoa, you know, that kind of looked funky, but I wanted to try it. It's not for me. And that's the big deal. It could go either way, but until you try it, you're not going to know. The tie-in there, the segue that we're going to throw at you, is in this bag. There it is. I was about to have a panic attack. I was like, I know I put it somewhere, and so I wouldn't lose it. It's right here. Maybe this was tool of the day. I feel like one of these was tool of the day. I really need to remember this stuff better or document it when it comes in or something. I started trying to do that with prices, but I don't do tool of the day. I do it on some. I put TOD beside it so I remember. But nonetheless, this is part number 670K. This would be 3069. This is something that I'm aware of, and I was like, that is too freaking expensive. Something I wanted to try, something I wanted to showcase, something I wanted to have to compare and test, but it's like, you know, I don't know if I can justify that. And with it was either this or a big item we're going to show in a second that I think was tool of the day. But there it is. It's an empty bag because we just took it out. And it's right here. And you think, oh, did you really never have a Gedore stubby? I can't believe it. Well, I think we do, but we never had this, a stubby bit holder. So let me come over here. We'll grab the PB Swiss because it was easier to get to. This that's a good magnet. This reminds me of their deburring tool, which is great for copper and plastic, not so good for metal. Again, magnet, right? But I wanted to try this thing out. The thing is, I did not know it was going to look like this, which you're like, why not? It looks just like that driver. Here's the deal. I thought it was going to look like this. And you're like, oh, is that the Gedore stubby? And, you know, full-size fixed iteration, number 2 Phillips, of course, for this guy. No, that's a channel lock made by Mayhew. All right. Let me pull this up. I've got the battery light flashing for the battery light fans. Started up about 2 minutes ago. This is what I thought I was getting. And I'm not mad. I'm totally fine with this. But right there, you can kind of see, like, I thought it was going to be solid blue. This also totally looks way shorter than that, but it does say the 80 millimeters. But this is what I thought we were going to get. So I was kind of surprised when that came in. Again, not mad. I would have been happy with either one. I like the Gedore blue, which you can see it there versus the channel lock in terms of screwdriver handles. Much brighter, a good bit darker. But this was kind of just a surprise that it was in that form. So I'm assuming, and again, this is why I so wish that I had a Gedore catalog, and why I wish that I would have been like into this a little sooner. This is all I know from Gedore. They do have a wood handle driver, but this style, whether striking cap or VDE, changed colors obviously, that's all I know of from them. You would think they would do this kind of like Stavilo's 3K, where, like, you know, some people are going to love that, some people not so much. You would think they would have kind of like a more traditional crowd pleaser, like 80% are fine with it type of a thing. I have to wonder if prior to this design, they didn't have like a solid blue like that channel locker. I've got a Felo right here. I was going to get the stubby, but this one was easier to reach. Did they have something like that? I don't know. And German Tool Reviews was doing this way before me. And again, if you haven't checked his channel out, I encourage you to do so. For everyone that complains about the lengths of my videos, he packs in so much information in like a fourth or fifth of the time. It's pretty crazy, and it's very enjoyable. He did a lot of head-to-heads and testing in addition to tool hauls and showcases and stuff. But I think it would have even been before he had this stuff. I remember he had something where he'd bought some, I believe they were VDE, so his team could test them. And they had a whole bunch, and they wound up keeping and using the Gedores, so that means those guys liked them. But even at that time, it was like this style, as best I remember. So when was that little blue guy there? You know, was that like something from 2015, 2016? I don't know. And I wish I knew, but I don't know how to find out because there's only so many people that buy German tools and upload videos of them, you know? So if you have insight, that's probably a call-in question I could ask him. But again, I'm totally fine with this one. It just begs the question that kills me. When did they transition? Like, when did this happen? For all I know, this is old stock and the stubby is now that way. I don't know. And I wish I did. I'm inclined to say this is the current OE Gym, and you go back in time to that blue one that you see on the website. But if for some reason you're a huge fan of Gedore screwdrivers and you're like, oh yeah, you know, they quit making that around 2013, 2014, probably was in stock. Places didn't move it for a year or two after, maybe. Tell me, because I really want to know. And it's one of those things, I don't know how to get in. I guess you could like hit up Gedore and be like, hey, you know, when did you phase that out and switch to this? But in terms of readily available without trying to do that with a language barrier, yeah, I don't know. And it's just something that piques my curiosity. So, there's an item I might omit here. I think it's going to tie in better with something else, and it'll save us a lot of time because, again, with the battery light, I'm a little worried. I will real quickly, just because this is what we do. Other similar bits. Okay, we've got this little Wiha here. This is actually the Ultra Stubby, which that's why it was a double-ended bit. If you paid it, if you're like, why is that band there? I thought they'd be magnetic. This is the Ultra Driver Stubby. I don't know what I did that got that on it, but I bet Tub of Towels would take it off, but something I did was nasty. Right here, a little ESD that we got dirt cheap, magnetic style. Gives you an idea. Advantage or disadvantage of this stubby is just the extra length of that bit holder. So wanted to have these and the channel lock there to kind of give you a quick comparison color-wise, brand-wise. So what I'm going to do now is come in off to the side. You know what? We're going to do this. We're going to throw this down. You think like, oh yeah, okay, cool. I remember you bought that for the bandsaw, right? You know, a little quick stop, you know, chuck. set your 6-inch cut and go type of a thing, right? Yep, that's exactly what we did. We had it and we had a Vera. We were kind of test them out, and I told you, I was like, man, I really wish they made these in SAE. That would just be the bee's knees. This is very small to get a feel for it, but like bigger sizes, I bet that would be really good. Got a hanging hole, obviously. Mopar, black and blue. Great color scheme for me. Dual drive, you got the ball end on this side fixed here, good leverage. What's not to love, right? Well, they're not SAE. And you're thinking like, whoa, wait, what? No, I know. You contacted KC Tool or Gedore and they had like some old stock or they made it for you, right? No, we have this. This is an old set now. I don't know how long. We've had this quite a while. It's just a Wiha T-Handle set, right? And it's kind of a similar deal. If I grab my 3/8, you got the ball end, you got the dual drive, 2-component handle. Very, very, very similar to what we have there with that Gedore. It's just SAE, 1/8 to 3/8. And you're thinking like, yeah, that's cool. Got the stand. What's the deal there? Well, those are always out. They sit on top hutch area of the Husky. I say that it's the 52-inch Husky, so it's like the funky bend one, you know, but they fit, they clear. I can shut the hatch if I want to. Zero issues with them. I kind of always figured I would go metric, right? I would just like, well, we'll probably just get the Vihas. They're red. It'll just make sense, right? 1 second. On the opposite side of the Husky, you can probably tell by the dust, I have this setting. Something that I picked, not this. I'm not interested in the magnetizer, but it's there. Convenient, easy to see. You're like, oh, hey, this doesn't have that cool little chart with the sizes, the screw and drill information. No, it doesn't, but it's got a lot of holes here, and it's pretty much the same thing, right? You're thinking like, okay, well, that's cool, but you said this was all Gedore, didn't you? Yeah, it totally is. That said, my experience there, and at the time, I don't think Stavilla, I'm not sure if they still have a set. Stavilla came out with a dual drive too. It looks really good. I kind of wanted to bring one in. They were never in stock in the weird sizes I would need. And this was a deal, which I kind of think it was tool of the day. It was either this or that stubby. One of them had to be. But even if it wasn't, this thing here, MSRP, really not that bad, especially if you use the metric drivers. You'd be looking at 116.19. Here's the catch, folks, and Gedore owes me some credit because I did reposition these to make it aesthetically pleasing to you. But check it out. This is the complete set, 2 all the way to 10, 2, 2.5, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8, and 10. 8 pieces. Pretty comprehensive. I think they have additional sizes if I wanted to expand or add something in. Don't hold me to that. It's been a while since I've looked at it. But this was just a situation where I was like, man, that color scheme is great. It was, again, I'm trying to project and imagine a larger handle. I'm like, oh, it'd be pretty comfortable. And the Wiha prices have gone up, and again, Casey Tool doesn't stock Wiha anymore, so Black Friday pricing on this thing, which I feel like it was Tool. Maybe it wasn't, maybe it was the stubby. I'm pretty confident one of them was. But this is just a dual drive T-handle set from Gedore. Again, these are going to be the ball end drivers with standard. No ball end here on the L side, but obviously the long end, you got your ball driver, good access. 2K, again, I painstakingly, I don't know if this is how it's supposed to come, but it made sense to me so you could sort of see everything pretty well. Spent a little bit of time there for you. There is no information on the back. There is, but like nothing crazy aside from the set contents. They're not like selling points, anything, just straight to the point, simple, functional packaging. And let's get these down here so you can enjoy this. These haven't been opened because the only size I've needed has been that since I've had it. Again, we've got other T-handles, not a big deal. But this right here is really, really cool. And what we're going to do, we're just going to come in and grab the 8. It's not the biggest, it's not the smallest, but it's going to give you a good feel for it. These are made in Slovenia, so, insert manufacturers there. If we zoom on in, I think you can read that again. Designed by Gedore, Germany, made in Slovenia. Right there, you've got your part number. Again, DT 2142 8, the 8 going to be the size. Flip it over. Beautiful Gedore branding. And yeah, that is really, really nice. I would love these again. All the stuff I do at work, all the old machines and everything. If I could get 1/4 and 3/8, I would be happy. But it's just not meant to be, at least from these brands. One thing you got to give Wiha. Again, I don't know, they probably just assume they wouldn't sell very many of them, or they don't want to invest in tooling, or a combination of those two things, which is totally understandable. Again, especially when they're going to probably move a lot more metric. You got to think all the old guys running old machines like me, Bondus, they probably got tons and tons and tons of really old hex keys, Elkind, you name it. There's stuff sitting around, and it would be a luxury purchase, or they come in and it's the Snap-on people, they say we've got to be branded Snap-on type of a thing. But I am pretty dadgum happy with these. These are a bit dusty. We'll have to see if we can knock that stuff off, but I'm hoping, and this is the crapshoot here, we may wind up with the Wihas. Realistically, I don't have a need for these at work because they're not SAE. But the 10 and the 8 do fit. The 10 is very tight. It's farthest out position. I think this is as far out as I can get you. There's the 6. We may come out golden again. Yeah, I don't quite remember off the top of my head what Wiha was going to do. Oh, hideous. Oh, hideous. The 6, I believe, has a barcode on the top of it. You're going to cringe when you see this. I know how many of you hate that. Luckily, none of the others have it. Not sure. I guess that's like the 2.5. I'm assuming I can tell you that the 6 and the 2.5 are going to be heavy use by you metric people. Based on those two drive sizes having that, it's probably a late edition. And ladies and gentlemen, we filled it out. Again, between Gedore and Wiha, they clearly have similar sizes that they value. Check this out. Can't really get it in the frame very well, and God, those barcodes are, ugh. It kills the aesthetic, man. It's only 2 of them, which I guess we should be happy about. But man, this is such a good looking set of T-handles, and then you've got that. Ugh. And I'm sure they're sitting on there. They're not like a sticker that we can get off and just have nasty adhesive to look at for a while. Nope, they're printed. So the good news is they should come off. The bad news is this is metric, so I'm not going to use it as often. It's going to take longer for it to come off, but it fits here. What will we do here? Maybe Gedore sticker from the German tool sticker pack. Maybe we get lucky and land like an extra of the mystery sticker Gedore, which would probably look really cool with that set, actually. Let me get you some bonus content. Once I was totally gonna dig out the chisel stand, which they don't sell it with the wooden stand anymore. And I was like, oh wait, I've left the camera on with the battery light flashing. So this isn't quite as cool, but it gives you an idea of what you can do. This is obviously not chisels. This is just pins and pocket screwdriver, nothing crazy. There's one center punch, I believe that's a Hazette, but I do have the longer one with all my Gedore chisels in it, and we've got it decked out with stickers as well. But we could take this from the German tool sticker pack. We could fit, like I said, possibly if we get duplicates even of our mystery stickers, it might look really cool. So yeah, I have wanted to get that showcased for so long because it was a big box right there behind me, and I finally have. These are gonna look killer up top. Part of me is sad they're not Wiha, so it's like a contrasting set, mirrored one side versus the other. The other side of me doesn't care because these are black and blue and I much prefer that over red. The other side of me is just like, man, if Gedore would just make that in SAE sizes, we can have black and blue. I see the merits to having the contrasting colors, so like, yeah, yellow's SAE, this is metric, red is metric, but realistically, man, like, I make exceptions for aesthetics, especially if I like it. If this was like fuchsia, I don't care. I might not even buy it, but this color scheme is killer. Super, super nice. Again, we'll grab the biggest one here for your viewing pleasures. And there's the Gedore branding. Again, you do have a hanging hole if you want to go that route. Once more, imagine the leverage you can generate with this thing. Similar reach. You've got this. If we want to do something crazy with Wiha, we can do that. Stabila, I wish they made SAE. It is what it is. But at least I can use this stand that I've had up there waiting for a metric T-handle set for probably 5+ years at this point in time, maybe longer. That was a pretty early anticipation purchase, so proud of myself. I held on to it and just left it there. Periodically I drop something in, and some of you are like, whoa, what? You've got this though, what's the deal? Well, this little 4 right here, it can get, oh, yeah. Okay, this set right here does not have the barcode. So again, the question, is the barcode a new addition, or did somebody aesthetically, or even just a stylized based engineer, be like, we got to get rid of those? I would assume it was an ad because they want to track inventory, sell them individually. I'm sure retailers are like, I got people coming in here wanting to buy the 4 or the 6 all the time. But yeah, this has it too, unfortunately. So maybe it's a more recent thing. If you know, let me know. It would be great if it's not. It would just be wonderful. But, you're like, oh, that's sad. You got a duplicate. Hey, here's the deal. That set stays complete on the hutch of the Husky, and this can go to the saw. I've currently got the Vera sitting over there just because it had the holding function, if I remember right. But this one can go there too, hang out. Maybe there'll be something else with a 4 on it. But you either like T-handles or you don't, and I like T-handles. So I'm a happy guy, minus the barcode. So with that said, I think we will stick with that. There is one more thing. Let's just go ahead and close the video out. If you enjoyed, leave a like. If you like multiple things I do here, I encourage you to subscribe. If you do that, you ring the bell, you jump your charger across a creek, you grab a Gedore dual drive T-handle without the barcode and complete a beautifully aesthetic styled set that's just as beautiful functionality as it is aesthetically. YouTube just might notify you that we got new videos every Wednesday and Saturday, 9 a.m. Texas time. With that said, I do hope you enjoyed. Hope you learned a little something. Maybe had a good time, if nothing else. Again, as always, your first-hand feedback appreciated down below in the comments section. And now, while the battery could die at any point in time, we have this bonus content. So I showed you the Wiha, I showed you the Vera, but I didn't show you the Felo. And you think like, we don't need to see the Felo, what's the deal? It's clearly much smaller than the Gedore. Well, overall length, roughly the same, but check this out. The way this is set up in the bit box, which is super cool, I kind of feel like it's going to be the same type of a length Okay, so the Felo is a smidge shorter, which is crazy when you think about it. It would have been cool if this was a bit more compacted. If we could take where my fingernail is right there and leave that and chop the rest of that out, I think that would be good. But this 80 millimeter length on that, I guess, makes it unique. It's another tool in the arsenal. It might be a situation where this doesn't fit and this has the reach that you needed. Just gonna depend. I'm sure it's usually gonna happen to be the case where whatever you've got is not what you need. That's how it always seems to go. But the good news on that front, my friends, is what? That's right, you get to buy more tools. So with that said, we did have one more item here, but there's something, and I'll tell you, they're Gedore. There's something that I had wanted for forever, and it came up. It was definitely tool of the day, and I picked it up. I thought about doing a standalone on it. I think we can throw that item in with it, and it'll be fine. But yeah, I'll take it from there. So let me know your thoughts on this stuff. I do hope you enjoyed. I hope you're having yourself a fantastic weekend. Most importantly, I hope I catch you back here for more action from the shop.